What's a very disturbing fact almost nobody knows? Organophosphates, including the chemical weapon sarin gas, work by inhibiting your muscles' ability to relax. Your muscles basically constrict and can't unconstrict, causing what feels like a muscle cramp through your entire body, your arms, your chest, your eyes, your tongue, everything. It most frequently kills via asphyxiation, because you can't exhale. Surviving means a permanent irrecoverable loss of motor function, even with rapid medical treatment. Yeah, I'd say that counts as disturbing. Also odorless and colorless. The Romans used to torture people by having goats lick their feet. Goats like salt, so they would soak their feet in salt water. Eventually the goat's tongue was rough enough that the skin would wear away, then you'd have a wound with salt trickling in. At first I thought you meant that they would soak the goat's feet in salt water. Game a goat's bath water. It used to be believed that babies as old as 15 months couldn't feel pain. As a result, doctors would perform surgery without anesthesia. Doctors use muscle relaxants on the infants to prevent squirming, essentially paralyzing the babies for the duration of the procedure. How long ago was this? Reports indicate that this continued up until the 1980s. Edit, here's a few sources. Source 1, Source 2, Source 3. As an infant in the late 80s, I fell and split the top of my scalp open. Local doc refused to numb my skin BC. According to him, babies that little, I was maybe a year old, if that, don't feel pain. I'm very glad I can't remember back that far, because it would probably have really fucked me up. This is ridiculous. My daughter dislocated her shoulder at like 9 months and she screamed bloody fucking murder. Oh, it's absolutely bananas that anyone, especially a trained medical professional, would think it, let alone act on it. One of the first symptoms of heart disease can be sudden death. It's funny, because it can also be one of the last symptoms. Yeah, the symptoms will last for the rest of your life. There are 8 nukes that are missing all around the world. Oh, that's actually not all of them. According to this, there's a grand total of 51 nuclear weapons lost in the world, 40 Russian, 11 American. One of them is apparently half a mile off the coast of Georgia, and the city of Savannah is within its blast radius. The lost Tybee bomb named because it was dropped off coast of Tybee Island, which is incredibly close to Savannah. We don't know if the bomb is actually capable of nuclear detonation, because it might not have a core, but then again it might have a core and be able to go nuclear. We don't even know if it's still there. One fisherman claimed his net got caught on something a few days after the bomb was jettisoned. Some believed it to be the bomb. Another report is that the Soviets found it and took it instead. Most likely though it's there and not nuclear capable. Even then it still has a metric ass ton of conventional explosives in it that could go off and maul the area it's dropped at. A vitamin D deficiency can make you suicidal, and deficiencies among adults is very common. Like more than 50% of the population in the US. My vitamin 500th number was single digit when I went to see my doctor because I felt depressed. I now take a big weekly dose along with diet change and sunlight to feel normal. If I hadn't gone to the doctor when I did, I might not have been able to face another winter. Mine too. My doctor was shocked and said it was the lowest he'd ever seen. It's crazy how much it makes a difference mentally. Approximately 2,100 children are reported missing every day in the US, or 1 every 41 seconds. On the bright side, most will be returned unharmed. On the bleak side, the survival rate very rapidly declines over time. On the even bleaker side, in the cases of missing young adult men in the US, there's fair chance a missing individual will be ruled deceased after a rather short search with minimal evidence. Even if no body is found, generally it's labeled as deceased due to natural causes. That is drowning in any nearby source of water, getting lost in any nearby woods, just getting lost anywhere and dying. After which the search is completely abandoned. Yeah, the whole 48 hours rule is pretty disturbing. Mission goes from rescue to recovery terrifyingly quickly. Even though abduction is top of the heap for bad scenarios, it surprises a lot of people that a good portion of those missing kids are special needs children that literally just wandered off into the world and, as you said, die somewhere alone. I can see why parents look into locators and other ways to keep tabs on their kids' location. When a woman with breast implants is cremated, the implants will melt into goo. It drips to the bottom of the furnace and needs to be cleaned up once cooled. I wonder now, what happens to metal rod implants, pacemakers, etc. Pacemakers have to be removed, and metal implants just stay in and get tossed after. In child porn cases, someone has to actually watch the video beginning to end, so they can testify about it in court to seal a conviction. A friend of mine works for the federal government and his job each day is to watch child pornography, so that they can prove that the person was in fact creating or distributing child porn. It's a fucked up job. Do they give him any therapy? I'm not super sure. I know that he has to do evaluations every once in a while, to make sure he's still fit. He does say that statistically most people in the position only last 3 years. They get paid horribly to do this job, so there's not much incentive to stay. I know for him each time they catch a person makes it very well worth it for him. In the UK they have what they call sanity screens running at the same time. They can pause the video and look up at the sanity screens. They are live feeds of everyday life. People going about their lives, shopping, things like that. It's so they can take a break and look at something normal. At any moment a nearby star could possibly become a gamma ray burster and point a jet of radiation at the Earth that would vaporize us instantly. Math says a gamma ray burster located 100 light years away that aimed at us directly would generate the energy of 100 Hiroshima bombs per square mile across the entire exposed surface of the Earth. Anything caught in this blast directly would be vaporized instantly. It would also instantly boil the oceans and rip the atmosphere off the planet. It would end all life and leave the Earth a charred cinder in space. And it is 100% impossible to see one coming, since it's moving at the speed of light, because gamma rays are light. I'd be okay with that, I think. You never see it coming and it only lasts a fraction of a second. There are far worse ways to go. I'd rather not know, and just be gone. No terror, no pain, no frantic calls trying to tell all of your loved ones anything. No leaving behind pets that will die without you. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem too bad. I feel bad for the half of the planet not facing the burst, since they'll probably experience a much worse death. No leaving behind pets that will die without you understatement of the decade. On average, 30 people die in the US annually in elevator-related incidents. This is my worst nightmare. If you really want to lose sleep at night, consider elevators at Houston St. Joseph Hospital, which have a history of injuring people, including decapitation of one surgical resident in 2003. Jesus McFuck. They need to fill that elevator shaft with cement and holy water.